do the promo. Thank you so much, Gary, for joining us for an additional, I guess you could call it session 16, part B, as in this thing we call the engagement room. And thank you again for participating. Thank you for being part of this thing that we've created inside Toastmasters, and it's gone out to several platforms. So I wanted to. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting the warning light that says you better plug your power in, or you're going to lose the whole damn thing. So can you still hear me? All right.
I still can.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good. So that plan worked out. All right. I know that you're a man of faith. You've done a few things, as any of us have after a few years in leadership and what have you. What's what do you define yourself as right now? It's like, it's not the coach or mentor thing like I brought up a few minutes ago. What do you call yourself?
Hmm. That's a great question that I haven't really thought of.
Hmm.
I
Well, I bring this up because, like, as men, and especially as professionals, we sometimes define ourselves by what we do, not
Mhm.
necessarily who we are, and we get those mixed up, and it's very, very easy to do that.
you know, I see myself wanting to be a coach,
Hmm.
wanting to be somebody that can inspire others to get through a situation that I may not necessarily know,
Right.
but again, I can see where they need to be, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think coach would be a great word for it.
Hmm.
I have a desire to see others succeed, whether that's through leadership, whether that's through just uh, being on their side, uh, which I think a coach has both of those aspects to it. That's what I think. I ultimately that's where I want to be,
Right.
right, and that's what I'm achieving to be.
Right. Well, I mean, ideally, you're there. You're there,
Yeah,
and in one way or the other. I mean, and for me, like say with this whole process, I would rather build other people up. I would rather try to give them every opportunity to excel, whether it be, say, in my job with the state, or in Toastmasters or whatever. I'd rather be a king maker or a queen maker. Maybe it's for me. Maybe it's having, my kids are grown and I have two grandbabies now, and it's all about fostering. I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think? I mean, are you kind of at that point too?
I think I am. Yeah, yeah. Um, especially in my Toastmaster career,
Mhm.
I see a lot of potential out there for folks that um, I see a lot of the knowledge leaving Toastmasters as folks get older, right?
Mhm.
Um, and when I say knowledge, I don't necessarily mean the educational system or
Right.
how to be right.
Right.
It's more of that knowledge of what makes a Toastmaster,
Right.
right? Um, and I think that's where I'm at right now. I would love to foster that in others,
Mhm.
to make not just a new member, but make a Toastmaster.
Yeah.
Right? I've had the privilege to guide a couple people to their DTM, and I've yet to get my DTM. Right? It's
Mm, mm,
it's
mm.
it's that process
Oh
that
yeah.
I love in the middle.
Right. See, I came to Toastmasters after a divorce. I mean, and you've been through that yourself, and it destroys you. And becoming a Toastmaster was part of my rebuilding process.
Mm-hmm.
And I I've seen those people now. I've seen, and you have too. Seen people come and go. You see people who maybe were younger that had something good, and they kind of got what they want at the time, and the next thing you know, they're gone. And then you see the people are sticking around, kind of like us. We're the ones that
Hmm.
see the that value, and we had some good mentors, and we had a good direction that we want to stick with. And I found that here lately, I've seen some more of those older Toastmasters that I got to push them to deliver a little bit more because it seems like sometimes there's not an interest to say mentor. I had a in the club I'm coaching right now. This Toastmaster had been in for like 35 years, I think, or something like that. Had really seen a lot of change over time and was disappointed in how the organization was going. I said, "Yeah, but you still have so much to offer." The quote was, "I haven't written a speech in probably 15 years." And I was like, "Well, I guess it's time for you to get back on the horse and do it again." And he
Hmm.
took the challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
He took the challenge. I mean, he did deliver
Uh,
something that was a little more stream of thought than say a proper structure, introduction, body, conclusion type speech. But nonetheless, he got back up there and did it. And I
yeah.
I, I thought that was a nice little coaching feather in my cap that I was able to get somebody that had been doing it longer than me
Yeah.
to
And
actually do that.
I've worked with some older members, and we talk about that tough love.
Mhm.
Uh, One of the biggest reflections in my speech tonight was the 2026 Gary versus the 2016 Gary. And would I hire him? No, I
Mhm.
wouldn't.
Mhm.
And I've applied that to some of my older Toastmasters who have fought with me, and I've said, you know, as as you right now, if you looked back and when you joined your Toastmaster club and you walked into a Toastmaster club and you saw you complaining, mumbling, groaning, just not wanting to participate, would you have stayed as long as you have? Right? Would you have put up with the way you're acting right now? I mean, that's a little harsh, but at the same time, no. If they would have joined in the '90s and they saw somebody complaining the way that I see a lot of folks complaining today, they wouldn't have stuck around,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh
Um,
my gosh.
and
Yeah.
it's like, so how can you set up, right? You want the next generation to come in and
Mhm.
fill roles and do
Mhm.
this so that you could take a break. How are you expecting them to do that if you're not showing them the desire to do that,
Right.
right?
Right.
And a lot of that is with the failed attitudes that a lot of people have right now. I hate to say it that way, but
No, no, it's fair. I mean, it's a fair assessment because like you said, it's I want to say it in the right way because there are times
right.
whenever, let's say you have an emotional response to something, you still need to react appropriately to things like that because it's valid for some of the people that you might spend every day with. But at the same
Mhm.
time, it's like getting back to being a coach again. It's like going, let the person react and I guess worked with them on how to mold it into something that's going to be positive, because there's so much. I mean, my gosh, there's so much negativity that's connected to reaction now. I mean, thousands of dollars are spent on social media just to gauge people's reaction over it, whether it's positive, negative, whatever it might be. I mean,
Mhm.
millions of views and likes and things like that, and it just blows me away because I still think in a way that when it comes to sales, I need to do something. If I spend money on that, then I better make that effort back in sale,
Right.
and it doesn't work that way. And it's just absolutely amazing that the world works like it does now with so much I don't think the word is reciprocity, but it gets just back to that mindset of thinking it's like, if you put forward, like if you make an ad, and it costs $500. Well, then you got to make $600 back to get your money back and then some,
Hmm.
But maybe that's just a traditional business mindset when it comes to projection and sales and whatnot.
Right. And there's uh I don't know where I was going to go with that. Uh well, I do, but I don't. It's this whole mentality that you have, right? That salesman mentality, and
Mm,
everything can apply to a Toastmaster club. That's what I've been trying to
yeah.
tell folks. So
Yes.
one of the other things that I learned from Taffer, it was outside of the shows. So some of the interviews that he has, and he talks about folks that do these marketing plans, spend $1,200
Ugh.
to market somebody's experience at a restaurant,
Mm,
and he says, I don't go for just one experience. I go for four experiences. And he says, I spend, three times less the amount of money. He said,
mm, mm,
and
mm.
it's simple interaction. He says, here's what I do. The first time somebody visits his restaurant, they get a red napkin instead of a white napkin. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
to signal to the manager that that person is new, right?
Yeah.
So the person comes in, they eat their dinner, the manager sees the red napkin. The manager goes up and goes, "Hey, I see that you're new here. How did you like the dinner?" If they say it was great, okay, the manager is told to give them his business card with a free rib dinner the next time they come, right? So he gives it. It feels personal. It's his business card. They come back a second time. Now they have the business card. The waitress tells the manager it's their second visit.
Yep.
So he makes sure to come up. How'd you like the rib dinner? Oh, it was great. You need to try the chicken. Let me give you $5 off the chicken. So he gives
Yeah.
a second one with the
Yeah.
chicken, right? Uh, because John's quoting, like, if you get them the first time, you have like a 12% chance they're going to return the second time.
Mm, mm, mm.
Second time, you have about a 26% chance they're going to return a third time. After the third time, you have like a 70 some odd percent that they'll come back a fourth time. So that third time they're trying the chicken, he's giving
Right.
them $5 off, but the food cost is sort of equaling out. So there's no loss on the chicken.
Right.
How'd you like the chicken? Well, the chicken was great. I tell you what, let me give you a free slice of cheesecake. Gives them a free slice of cheesecake. So now he's gotten four visits out of folks. It's the
Oh,
same thing with a Toastmaster meeting, right? We have to we have to go over the top to not just get the guest here.
yep.
We don't want them to just one guest appearance. We want them to, right. And a lot of people start with, let me give you a membership application right there on the first.
Mm, mm.
Let's get them in again
Meeting
as a
quality.
guest.
Meeting
Let's
quality.
get them in maybe three times as a guest
Yep.
and then start talking.
Right.
Let's sell the club
Yeah.
before we try to sell the $60 membership that you're going to
Hmm.
have to pay.
Right.
Right. It's just changing those whole mentalities that I've been
Oh,
so interested in because we've been stuck in this system for so long. Right. We have to think outside the box,
right.
and
Well,
we have to
and
think like salesmen. We have to think like
exactly.
marketers. We have to
Well,
think
and
like,
there's also the product. The product, like
yes.
you brought it up, like Tapper talks about the product. I mean, my girlfriend and I went to a place in Carbondale called the Blaze, and I've
Hmm.
driven by it, I don't know, hundreds of times, and since they started. One, because I didn't want to spend the money. I heard they were a little higher price on some things, and I'm just like, but from time to time, you got to treat yourself, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so the other night it's like, hey, let's go do this. Didn't have to have a reservation. They were open a certain time. We got there, and if you if you served enough tables and you've been to enough restaurants that have some level of quality, you're going to know that your server is watching certain things. You're going to
Hmm.
know how observant your server might be. Our guy, he came in talking to us like he owned the place and just sucked us in. And then when he went away to get our drinks or something like that, I was like, "Did you see how he was acting?" I said, "He's gauging us at the same time we're trying to figure out." And he did exactly what you were talking about with Tabor about you know not necessarily manipulating us, but then there's just these little nuances that made it a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I mean, and yeah, it was a little pricey, but I've got a job, I can pay it off. It's like a buddy of mine from college said. He said, you know, that buying cigars. I said, well, this is why we work.
Right,
but
right.
but he applied something like that. And you know, that's one great thing about Toastmasters, because you develop those active listening and observation skills. I could see what he was doing, and I was really impressed with how it worked out. And it's ironic that my girlfriend bought a really nice steak, and she ordered it medium rare. And when it came out, it was just a little bit too medium. And I mean, for me, I would have ate it. It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, I could look at the quality of the steak, but that dude, he swept in and he went straight back to the kitchen. Oh my gosh. And got her another one. And of course, by that time, she was too full. She couldn't eat, so she had to take the thing home. But it was all good, and I still gave him a good tip. And he took really good care of us, and say turned into a fantastic dining experience, even though that happened. And if they had, you know, said, "Oh, we're going to comp the price," I was like, "No, no, 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 we're not. No, no, it's still too good. It's still good." And you know that bottom line you're talking about, the volume in some items, they're going to make their money back.
Oh yeah,
They're going to make their money back one way or the other.
yeah.
Well, here I tell you what, it's 8:20, and I really appreciate your extra few moments to kind of take this engagement room thing to a next little extra step, so that way we got a little thing. So if you could, since this is going to be shared in different places, what are some of the things that you're working on over the next few months? Because I know you were aspiring to get in the accredited program like I am, but I need to get my DTM before I do that and keep on doing this jazz. So what's
Well,
Gary Vaughn?
I am working on my DTM. Pardon me, I got a frog in my throat all of a sudden. Um, I am working on my DTM. I just got elected as the incoming club growth director,
Right.
so I will be in District Trio. Um, I have aspirations further than that, hopefully. Uh, but on my public speaking side, uh, a lot of my public speaking is through, surprisingly, my Santa business. So trying to keep my Santa business going.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 10 years this coming season that
Wow.
I've been a Santa. I've expanded that, doing some really unique opportunities, building my story craft.
Mhm.
I have a book in mind, a children's book for
No kidding.
Santa that I'm currently writing and hoping to get published. And then on the public speaking side, I mentioned the municipal clerks training. This will actually be my second year. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I did the training last year, and it was so well that they've invited me back. So trying to start building that resume for more public speaking engagements. Right,
That's
trying to
awesome.
get my name out there,
Yeah.
and that's what I've been working on this year. What I will be working
All
on
right. What we'll
this
need to
year.
do, what we need to do, and you'll have to like take a picture of it and send it to me later. What I'll At the end of the video, what I'll do is I'll post up your card and stuff like that, so that way they won't be able to listen to it and see it. But at the same time, if it's on YouTube or Spotify or whatever, and they're looking at the video, they'll have it out there. So that will be just one more opportunity for you
Yeah,
that
yeah,
will
and
offer to
that's sort of why I jumped at this because I've been wanting some kind of recording that I could start
yeah,
using to
shoot, yeah,
promote
yeah, yeah.
myself. So
What I'll do is I'll give you access to both the share the not the shared video, but the raw footage, and then also the finished, because you'll be able to pull clips out and things like that. And I mean, it's all yours. I mean, I
all right,
really appreciate you being part of this process, because I mean, this is not something that I really intended to do. And 16 sessions in, after 8 months now, I'm still blown away that they exist, and that it's out there for people to see and listen to. And it's really weird, really, really freaking weird, Gary, to turn on Spotify and automatically your voice comes out over the radio, going like, this is This is strange. I'm not
And
still not sure about that.
and remind me, you're using this for your DTM project.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes. The
And
engagement.
I have to give kudos to you.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm not going to name any names or say anything, but I've heard of some DTM projects that I thought, you know what, that probably could have just been a pathways project. I can't believe
Uh-huh.
you're doing so little for your DTM, and
Yeah.
so I really appreciate 16 episodes in, you've really and you've elevated this since the first. I
Mhm.
mean, you've really put some effort into this, so kudos on that,
Thank you.
and
Well,
amazing
honestly, we're
DTM
distinguished
project.
Toastmasters. We should. I mean, we're working for a distinguished Toastmaster. That's that's up there, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
we should be doing things like that. And
yeah,
a high performance leadership project is fine, but distinguished Toastmaster, you got to elevate it, right?
right.
Yeah. So I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to help guys like you get out there. And again, congratulations on being the club growth director. And when it comes to making content and things like that, I am willing to do things for the district, to make videos, to look at the successful club series, to do things like that, because that's my next level of Toastmastering. Because
Okay.
I've been division director twice, I've been area director twice, I've been club president. The only thing that I'll keep on participating in the club, but I want to educate people and bring more people in so they can love this thing that we love, right? You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And as somebody that wants to build people up, I have to say, because I have to sort of solicit, if you know somebody that um, has some skills of reaching out to folks,
Mm-hmm.
uh, looking for potential areas for new clubs, things like that, especially in your area,
Mm-hmm.
Southern Illinois area. I'm not asking you to do it, but if you know somebody that would be coachable, that would
Oh yeah.
love to join,
Oh yeah.
my team to start finding potential new areas for new clubs, send them my way. Let me know
uh
about them.
Patty Howard and I have talked about some stuff for a while, because see, I chartered the Mount Vernon Club in Mount Vernon, Illinois, and Patty and
Mm,
I are part of that. And we've been that's one thing that I'm wanting to do too in the Mount Vernon area, because I've got Walgreens, we've got General Tire plant, there's a couple other places, maybe even a state office where I can work with the agency and build a corporate club or in there. So we're kind of looking at, there's 3 or 4 different opportunities to build corporate clubs
mhm.
in this area. In I guess it's still going to be Division C, but
Yeah.
little things like that to get more here in our area, because I mean, you live in Bloomington, you know how geographically challenged we are in the
Yep.
state. I mean, it's nothing but farm roads and more farm and roads, and then there's a town, and then there's more farm and roads. You know,
Yeah.
so
And another great opportunity that I'm hoping to start introducing. Uh, we've always thought of, well, we need a certain amount of employees at a corporation to start a club, right? And we never think about smaller organizations.
mhm.
And I just this fell in my lap a couple months ago, and I'm trying to get it to work out. But we have a club in the Quad City area, Quad City Easy Speakers,
Mhm.
and then there's an architecture firm just a mile down the road from where Quad City Easy Speakers meets. And this architecture firm does not have, I mean, they have maybe a dozen employees or so. So we would never look at them as a corporation and say, let's build a club there, right? They just don't have the numbers.
Right.
But they have the desire to train up their interns to be better speakers.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we're plugging them in with Quad City Easy Speakers, who has a low
That's a
membership,
good idea.
and say, send your interns to us,
Yeah.
right? And as they rotate, right, we're not expecting them to be lifers, but as your interns rotate, just maybe have a corporate plan where you pay for their
Right.
membership while they're your intern. They're learning how to be public speakers. They're doing a better job for you.
Right. Right.
You're feeding us employees. So things like, I don't know, the like what's the automotive plate Weeks in West Frankfurt,
Oh yeah.
uh places like that may have public facing people. We could try to feed them into the Mount Vernon Club or the Carbondale Club and
Yeah,
say, you
yeah.
know, if they need those skills, bring them here,
Right.
right?
We've been doing that
So
in Carbondale, well, Carterville.
Carterville,
It,
yeah.
yeah, it's Carterville, but it's Carbondale. It's like right next to each other. But we've been working with SIU for a while and worked very very well with the ESL program as
Hmm.
well as the Med Pro program, which develops pre med students to get ready for medical school. And
Yeah,
we've had a lot of success with both of those groups for a while. I
yeah.
mean, I'm mentoring a kid. He's a kid and young man. He came through the carbon or SAU program. He got a scholarship, some kind. I can't remember which scholar program he got, but he was at Ole Miss, and then he finished up his student visa program, and he's back in Columbia now in pharmacology, and it's very very impressive. And I'm trying to get him to, whether he comes back up here or what have you, I'm trying to get him to build up uh, Toastmasters clubs in Columbia, because as far as I know, there's like three in the whole country,
Hmm.
and that's been one of my long time goals, to be able to, because I'm bilingual. I'm failing at being bilingual. I'm just being honest. I'm failing at being bilingual in Spanish, and that comes from my army days. And I would love to be able to you know to give a speech, to speak formally, as an orator or what have you, in
Hmm.
Spanish as well as English. But it's so damn hard. It's just you're talking like this all the time, and all of a sudden you want to shift gears to Spanish, and it's a completely different way of thinking, because the words the words mean so much more. I mean, we could talk a blue streak, and in Spanish you could say that in 5 words, and it means the same thing and three times more. So it's crazy. We
Yeah,
overthink it. It's really really easy. All right. Well, it's 8:30, dude. Thank you so
all right.
much.
Yeah,
And
you're welcome.
it's great to getting to know you, and we'll be working together on things. And this is just one more fantastic thing has happened because of this little project. So I hope you have a fantastic night. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. We'll see you.
See ya.
All right. Bye bye.